Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you had a nice break. It's great to chat with some of you in the break room. I don't know if you had a chance to chat without me as well. Hope you had some fun and met some interesting folks. Oh, I'm always excited at the level of internationalism that we're able to have here. So that's great. Um, And we're just going to let people settle in here for a few minutes. And I'll give an introduction to our presenter for this section, Nick Gravagna, in a few minutes. And I'll hand it over to him and we'll get started. But in the meantime, there's always those latecomers, aren't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Wayne Ferguson. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Like to see that hair down. Exciting, exciting look. See what I was saying, Nick? I'm looking here at Wayne and you and your style, and you guys both have like the coolest shirts.
Well, I didn't really start wearing these cool shirts, as you call them, until I moved to New Mexico and then Arizona, where the
Ah,
lifestyle was a little bit more relaxed. Coming out of New Jersey, where I was basically born and raised. Actually, I was born in the Bronx, and
my father
left
was born in the
the
Bronx.
Bronx. Okay, well, you know about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and of course, my dad, he's the first generation born in this country. He had a very heavy Bronxian accent. Uh, they didn't, if you said the TH word, like three, came out tree, right?
nice.
Thanks came out as tanks, all that sort of thing. So it took a while to get over that. But I was very much a city life and a city guy for a long time. And then I discovered Hawaiian shirts and I wear them a
You
lot.
never go
They make
back.
good bowling shirts too. I'd like to go bowling a lot. So it's pretty snazzy out there, that sort of thing.
Nice, nice. I wonder if there's a. I know I met someone the other day. I think he was Canadian or something, and or maybe from a specific part of Canada. He was wearing like a flannel shirt, you know, and he
Hmm.
said they called it like the Canadian tuxedo.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have a similar thing with Hawaiian shirts.
Well, I don't know. And they're not really all Hawaiian. They're just colorful. I mean,
They're just colorful.
it just kind of appeals to me. I guess Wayne too. I don't know Wayne, but it's pretty cool looking shirt there. Yeah.
Well, I have a sponsor, so that's it. Just so happens in
You got a
Toronto,
sponsor?
There's a guy named Tom of Tom's Place, and he's a radio personality,
Yeah.
and he thinks I'm famous because I tune for other people, but it's
Oh,
kind of borrowed fame,
there you
But
go. Well,
anyway,
you got the kerchief and everything though.
well, this is my emergency kind of mask. I
Oh,
double
I
mask,
see.
but I also
Yeah,
use
yeah,
this
yeah. Right, right.
so it's kind of like just there now, my new
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Well, back in the '70s, late '60s and '70s, I played in rock and roll bands, and in 1968, and '69, and '70, I was in a psychedelic band as a drummer,
Oh, nice.
and we had the coolest clothes. It was called mod in those days. You either went hippie,
Oh,
right, with the holes in your knees and that kind of stuff, right, and the leather jackets with all the fringe hanging off your arms. Well, we didn't do that. We were sort of a mod look, so we had these big bell-bottom pants and sashes around the middle, and a whole bunch of cool stuff. I can't imagine how ridiculous I would look in those outfits now, but they were pretty cool.
I want to see. I want to
Pretty
see.
cool then, yeah.
All right, I'll transition into the lecture here. Hopefully, maybe you'll pick up some of those instruments in the background, though. At some point, maybe you'll play the
Yeah, it's pretty
congas or
cool
something.
stuff. I know. Yeah, it's my little music room back there.
So yeah, let me introduce you. I'll mute Wayne Ferguson here, and I'll spotlight you because you're the talent here, and give a quick introduction. So today, right now, we're getting a little lecture from Nick Gravagna. He's going to be talking about hammer string contact time, the secret to understanding all hammer voicing. And Nick combines a formal engineering background with over 40 years of hands-on experience in piano design, manufacturing, and rebuilding. He's authored numerous articles for the piano trade and has been a featured instructor at piano technical seminars all over the US. His business currently revolves around rebuilding and manufacturing custom soundboards for the piano rebuilding trade. So yeah, Wayne, I think you got a good idea what you're about to do. So I'll hand it over to you. Let me know if you need any assistance, but I'll take a back seat
Are you
for a little
handing it
bit.
over to Wayne or to me?
Oh, I'm sorry, Nick. Hand it over to you, Nick.
I'm glad to have Wayne step in. That's thank you all for showing up, and thank you, Ethan, for the invite. It's always an honor and a privilege to be asked to instruct. I enjoyed the last session with Paul McNulty. I thought it was very, very cool, very interesting, and I think he spoke very well to us. I mean, obviously, he's a scholar and a heavy-duty practitioner in his field, and that he spoke to us in very simple, common terms, and with a sense of humor too, which I appreciated. I guess coming from New Jersey, anybody that's funny, I was taught to believe anything they said, and I pass that on to my kids, and they'll be getting out of the sanitarium sometime next week. Just a joke. I say the problem is I can't hear the laughter because Wayne's looking like I'm serious. But continuing, his presentation was a lot of Q&A, which was cool, and I hope to get to that later on in the session. But in
Yeah, by
order
the way,
to,
you
yeah,
just let me know whenever you want. I mean, I'll introduce questions as they come
yeah,
if they seem
yeah,
appropriate, but if you want people to chime in, I can let them unmute. All those things are
yeah,
options. You
okay, here
just
and
let me
there
know.
where I feel I have a stopping point, I'd like to do that, but I want to get through my PowerPoint and some of the other things because I want to lay the background for the kinds of questions I might be expecting. And so it's more structured. This is a much more structured program than Paul's. And so I want to get through it at a reasonable pace so we have plenty of time to continue with the questions that are more focused based on what I'll be talking about, which is voicing. And, you know, for years and years, we had classes, PTG classes and others like it, in voicing. And pretty much we did what we were told, especially 30 years ago. You know, you put the needles here and something's supposed to happen. You put them in a different place and something different is supposed to happen. And I found over these many years that when I did that exact thing, not necessarily the things that were supposed to happen did happen. So I sought for a sort of common denominator. What is it that happens with any hammer, whether you're hardening or whether you're needling? The shoulders were quote unquote softening, which doesn't always soften the hammer. Let's face it, right? If it's a good hammer, it's going to do something else. So I'm going to move on to my PowerPoint, and we'll go through it, and I'll read what you see there. And if you have pens and pads and you want to jot down a note or two or something, go ahead. The other thing is there's some repetitiveness and some redundancy in the program because I've learned that I learn better that way. And I feel like I'm teaching better that way when certain things are repeated, perhaps a little differently, but there's got to be some of that, you know, hammering away at a certain theme from a different perspective sometimes. So let me go to share screen here. And I've learned how to hide this on top.
Yeah, it's all looking good from our end.
Here we go. Okay. And so to drag these guys off to the side. And so here we have the shape of piano tone, as it's called. And this first screen, the idea here is that if you have a fundamental tone and you have a second partial, right, which is the octave above, you have a third partial, which is the fifth above that. In other words, the 12th from the fundamental. Then the fourth overtone is the double octave. And then this is a third above that. And then that's a minor third above that, the sixth partial. So these are really the main ones that we're interested in hearing in our piano.